So hello wealth creatives. Hello, as I said, we're going to continue the journey today and learn about another one of the sacred money archetypes. This whole month of November we are dedicating to sacred money archetypes, and we are introducing you to each of the 8 over this time. So it's really exciting. I love being able to do this. I was very excited about this month. But before we jump too much into the sacred money archetype we're talking about today, let me just introduce myself. My name is Brooke Hunt. That is me up the top there with the blonde hair in front of the pool. And the other amazing woman there is Laura Alcaslasi. And at Laura Alcaslasi & Co, we take such pride in being money mentors with a difference. We take 3 different very, very important pillars within the work of money mentoring and business growth in general to be able to accelerate your growth. And those 3 pillars that we work with are energy, strategy, and profitability. So often we see businesses all the time, and if you are in business, you may be the same. So often 1 or 2 of these pillars or areas in your business, you've got a handle on, you've got your strengths in, and the other one gets left behind. And the problem is we cannot be reaching our full capabilities and our full potential when we don't have all of those 3 pillars absolutely held and working in their biggest strengths that they can do. So that is a difference that we pride ourselves here at Laura Alcaslasi & Co in doing, is we focus on all 3 pillars because, as I said, we must have those strengthened if you really want to make that drastic wealth change, that increase in your financial freedom. That is what we are all about. So obviously, if you think about the sacred money archetypes, that is the energy side that we are going to be looking at today. And we are jumping into the celebrity today, which is really exciting because when we look at our sacred money archetype, when we get to understand our sacred money archetype, it really is like cracking the money code. It really is like getting this information that we've never been given about money before, and we get a whole new light, a whole new outlook on exactly what is happening with our money, with our own life, and why we are having the decisions or making the decisions we are, why we have money, why we don't have money. All of the reasons can be seen within our sacred money archetype. If you haven't heard me talk about an archetype before, an archetype in quite the general sense really is a pattern of energy that repeats itself over and over. So these 8 sacred money archetypes, we see these patterns in people and our clients over and over again, which is what has created these sacred money archetypes. It's a continual repetition of that energy. And so these are the 8 here that you can see in front of you. And today we are going to be meeting the celebrity. The celebrity, which is your inner big shot. And I love to ask, whenever I introduce an archetype, I love to ask what you feel that is all about. Yeah, the celebrity, your inner big shot. If you think about that, if you feel about that, as I said, you possibly have already some images coming up or some words or some ideas of what this sacred money archetype is all about. And I'm really excited to be able to dive in further to tell you all about the celebrity. The celebrity really is that inner big shot, our inner big shot that's illuminating impact and recognition. That's what the celebrity is all about. So let me tell you a little bit about the celebrity. The celebrity, as you can imagine, is very magnetic. They often have this charismatic or magnetic personality. People are drawn to them. They want to be around them. They just spark. They're like the light in the room, yes? And they love it. They absolutely love it. They love having those eyes on them. They love people being drawn to them. And it is that energy of the celebrity that draws people to them. They are not afraid to stand out in the crowd, the celebrity. In fact, they love standing out in the crowd because it's that attention, it's that recognition that they absolutely adore. So the celebrity has no problem with visibility. They often find themselves either in a profession, or if they have their own business, it'll be a business that includes a lot of visibility. They're not afraid to get out and do Facebook Lives or talk on stage or do any of the things that require that visibility level to be quite high. They love making that big impact. And you can possibly spot a celebrity archetype out if you're out in the pub or a restaurant or somewhere in view in the public. The celebrity will be the one who's like shouting a round of drinks to everybody, or you know, buying something for somebody. As long as there's a lot of people around, that's normally the caveat for the celebrity and spending money. They can be quite generous, but with that generosity, it normally happens out in the open. So it normally happens in front of other people. So then they also get that recognition for their generosity, because they love to be recognized for their generosity so very often. Again, it goes with the energy of that flamboyancy and that magnetism and that visibility. And because of their generosity and their visibility as well, because they love to be visible, the celebrity quite often will like to spend as well. So they have no problem spending money, and often they are spending money to enhance their image. So you will see celebrities often in designer clothes, they'll be in the latest fashion, they'll be out entertaining, and as it says there, wearing plenty of bling. The celebrity loves to spend their money, and it really helps them to feel like they belong in those circles that they're walking as they're out in that public eye. So yes, they have no problem spending that money at all. So the strengths of the celebrity, I should say, apologies, not accumulated. The strengths of the celebrity is that they are absolutely magnetic, as we've talked about. They have that charismatic personality, and it makes them a magnet for attracting that 5-star experience and the 5-star people. Because they have that magnetism, those people are drawn to them, so they'll find themselves in all the most amazing experiences, and they love it. They just fit in beautifully in that environment. They are also beautifully confident, as we have said before. They walk with that air of confidence. They enjoy the attention. They enjoy being in the spotlight. They will often have that personality, that persona, where they are just you just know that they are happy and confident where they are. And they radiate it as well. The celebrity radiates who they are, that have that certainty. They know who they are. They know where their position in the world, in that social scene. They are quite comfortable that that is where they belong. So the challenges then of our dear celebrity. So as you can imagine, with their love of spending, there also is the other side of that, which is compulsiveness to spend as well. So the celebrity often values money as a tool to achieve status. So we talked about before how they love to shop, they love to wear the latest designer outfits and have the in-brand handbag. They love to spend that money, and it's often because they associate that with their status and their image and recognition. Yeah, so the celebrity can get themselves in this space of compulsive spending. Oh, just one more, just one more, just one more. I just need that to really be able to step up and to really be seen. And obviously, as you can imagine, that can be a bit of a slippery slope for the celebrity, as they continually spend to try and reach that status, to try and really to be accepted, really is that problem that the celebrity has, because they feel as that money is part of that status, and then they will get that belonging as well. So they value that status above financial security. Often celebrities will, on the outside, they'll have a champagne lifestyle, but they'll be trying to keep it up on a beer budget. So often they have, it's very different to what they are portraying to the outside world than what is actually happening in their bank balance. So they often don't have that financial security because they valued the status instead. They valued buying that item or entertaining that big crowd of friends. They'd spend money on that, achieving that status, than putting it away and giving themselves that financial security. And part of that goes with the next challenge as well that the celebrity often finds themselves in, and that's spending on their appearance to avoid feeling empty or criticized. So as I said before, they want to feel like they belong, and they walk with that air of belonging. You wouldn't think twice if they have any issue of thinking that they belong, but it actually is, I guess, like a front for the celebrity on times, because they are spending on their appearance, they're making themselves magnetic, they're wanting to have all eyes on them, but often it can be because they're trying to avoid feeling empty, they're trying to avoid to being criticized, they're trying to really get that respect and to fit in. So they often are looking for that approval. And we can find celebrities that quite often with celebrities, they didn't receive that approval or that unconditional love or positive opinion from people who really mattered to them as a child. And that is part of why they do this spending on their appearance and this outward look, really, to get that respect and love. So they can actually be quite vulnerable inside, but very rarely will you get to see that aspect of the celebrity because, as I said, they have this front on them instead. So the sacred money contract for our celebrity, every sacred money archetype has their own sacred money contract. And for each of the archetypes, there is a part of the contract that feels very comfortable, and there's a part of it that feels very uncomfortable. And for the celebrity, this is their sacred money contract. If you are a celebrity, perhaps you will already know which part isn't most comfortable for you. And that is to accumulate wealth while being admired and valued in the world. So we just spoke about the celebrity. What part do you think they are comfortable with? And if you think that is being admired and valued in the world, you are absolutely right. The celebrity is very comfortable with that. What the celebrity is not very comfortable with, though, is to accumulate that wealth, to actually let that wealth sit there, because it's hard for the celebrity. They're like, see that money accumulating in their bank and getting that financial security. They're like, oh, but I could buy that, I could entertain, we could go here, we could do that, I can show, and it's very unconscious, subconscious a lot of the time for the celebrity. They do not realize that the reason why they are spending the money that they are spending, or always entertaining or always buying things. And that's why these sacred money archetypes give us such vital insight into who we are and how we manage our money, because so often it is that subconscious or unconscious programming that we are running with this sacred money energy hand in hand. When we can understand what's happening, we can then move and really take hold of the positive aspects that our sacred money archetype has and really run with that to change our financial situation. So the sacred money contract for the celebrity is to accumulate wealth while being admired and valued in the world. So that is where that work is. So to create money alignment, sacred money alignment, these three questions or ideas really are created to challenge the celebrity's thinking, to challenge where they are and how they, I guess, would function and move sometimes in that shadow aspect, the darker aspect of the archetype. For example, like the overspending or those challenges that the archetype has, the celebrity has. So if you are the celebrity, I encourage you to spend some time considering these questions or these statements. Such a different aspect of what life could be like. So the first one I want to invite you to consider, if or even if you know a celebrity, someone who fits this description, if impressing others were no longer important to you, what are 3 financial decisions you would make? So you can see already how that is pushing the boundary for the celebrity, because the celebrity, it is important for them to impress others. And that's a lot of the time where they're making their financial decisions from. But celebrities, if you're here watching this, and even on the replay, if you are a celebrity If impressing others were no longer important to you, we're dropping that, we're letting that go, what are 3 financial decisions you would make? And the next query for you to consider is, if you were to be the star of your financial future 3 years from now, what habits would you transform today? Again, we're bringing that celebrity aspect in, yes? But if you're going to be that star of your financial future, going to be rocking your financial future, what habits would you transform today? And the last one for you to consider is, what are 5 specific ways you spend money in order to get approval, acknowledgement, or recognition? And again, this may be the very first time that you recognize this is what you're doing. As I said, as a celebrity and with all these archetypes, so often those challenges they have are running on that subconscious program. They're not aware of it. But now you're beginning to become aware of what is happening in your financial life. If you're the celebrity, what are 5 specific ways that you spend money in order to get approval, acknowledgement, or recognition? There is always gold in these questions about how you can create sacred money alignment. So the empowering money mindset for our celebrity that I will leave you with today, and this is together in the 3-month Sacred Money Archetype coaching package. So where next? As I said, for the rest of November, I am going to be introducing you to the remaining Sacred Money Archetypes. So we still have another 4 glorious Sacred Money Archetypes to meet. We have 2 next week and 2 the week after. So Tuesday and Thursday for the next 2 weeks, you can come and join me and meet the remaining Sacred Money Archetypes. We also have a wait list that you are able to jump on. There is a Sacred Money Archetype program coming. It's a self-paced program, so you are able to really dive deep into the archetypes and you can understand them, not just for yourself, but for those around you as well. It really is phenomenal. It will change everything. So jump on the wait list if you are ready to dive into the Sacred Money Archetypes, into that next level, and you'll be the first to know when that comes live. It should be by the end of this year. It will be with you. And the last way you are able to continue this journey is to come and jump in a 3-month personal deep dive into the Sacred Money Archetypes. That's where you will work